What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Jericho Report. It is September 21st, 2015, Monday. Here we are, the final, we're in the September 20s. All doom is supposed to happen in the next week or two, right? What you're looking at behind me, first of all, my backdrop, that was from the 8.3 quake that happened down in Chile a few days back. Actually sent a tsunami wave around the world. I would just say around the Pacific Rim, obviously. But as you can see, there's a couple going off in the Atlantic. I'm not sure what side it's on, if you're even going to be able to see all that. It's all over the place. In all my years of watching earthquakes and the tsunami data, I have never seen that happen. And there's speculation that that was caused by Syrian. First of all, though, the first link below would take you to the Blogspot post. That's where you can find all of this madness. I got all kinds of madness to give you here. I'm going to start off with that. BP Earthwatch put out a video, 8.3 quake, exactly as CERN reaches record. Definitely take a look at his data. He's got a 4-minute video there. As well as Morning Mayan put out a video. CERN Doomsday Event, Stephen Hawking says no. However, great concern for what they are playing with over at the LHC. Please check out her video. Please leave your feelings on her video as to what she's talking about. Do these people have the right to play with this kind of power in the name of all humanity? Your thoughts? Other news going on. Let's stick with the Doomsday theme for a minute. Mysterious incandescent end-of-times cloud phenomenon spotted over Costa Rica. That's September 17th from ABC News. Check that out. Mothership, I don't know. Heads up, Doomsday Pastor says the apocalypse will happen September 28th when rare super blood moon eclipse fills the night sky. So Doomsday Apocalypse, September 20. Well, we only got a couple days to wait. Put a link to that from the Daily Mail. We got British Airways plane catches fire on Las Vegas airport runway. 14 injured. Put a link to that. Other news, obviously, going on here. American Airlines also suffers a computer glitch. Grounds American Airlines flights nationwide. What is this? The third, fourth, fifth time this has happened in the past few weeks? That from CNBC. What's going on with all these glitches? Hundreds quarantine as Ebola returns to North Sierra Leone district. Ebola news, that from Reuters. Meanwhile, the Telegraph puts out this. Super gonorrhea outbreak across north of England sparks national alert. That sounds nasty. Put a link to that. 11th holistic MD and best-selling author found dead in the woods. September 16, 2015. More holistic doctors. And speaking of that, look at this. U.S. News. 29 holistic doctors and NDs poisoned, some suffering life-threatening conditions at conference. Criminal investigation underway. More attacks on holistic doctors. That from Health Nut News, both of those, by the way. A couple more. We got Trump condemned for not correcting statement, Obama is a Muslim. Well, maybe he didn't need to correct that statement. I don't know. Hawaii News Now, I find that interesting. Now, meanwhile, one more. White House about to bust a vessel over cops turning their back on Obama during speech in Boston. What's up with that? Over to financial news. How the Dow Jones did last week. Looks like the Dow fell 290 points on Friday. For the week, it was down 48 points. Should be a rocky week this week. If there's any doom prediction going on at all, it's going to be indicated by the markets. What do you think? Another stock glitch. We got airplane glitches and stock market glitches. Moscow Stock Exchange breaks. All trading halted for glitch. This from Zero Hedge. Put a link to that. More glitches everywhere. World Bank warns of financial turbulence if U.S. Fed raises rates. I think they're not going to raise rates for now, although, I don't know, every day I hear something different. That from Activist Post on September 15th. We got, let the computer catch up here. Natural News puts this out. Stock market is 50 to 80% overvalued. Experts warn of historical crash imminent. That's September 17, 2015. Doom? USA Today puts this out. Hewlett-Packard to cut up to 30,000 jobs from enterprise unit to jobless recovery, though. Meanwhile, from Joe Hedge, look at this. Wages down 5% in 42 years. Jamie Dimon says, stop complaining. At least you have an iPhone. I'm not making this up. Put a link to that. Renewed calls for gun control laws spur sales. Of course, gun business is booming in America. That from USA Today. Meanwhile, Alabama House Committee passes massive porn tax. Massive porn tax. Okay. Government Health It, that's the name of the website, says, oh my God, 300,000 vets died waiting for care. This is September 4, 2015. We've heard this before. Here's another article on it. And one more at the bottom. Speaking of healthcare, company hikes price 5,000% for drug that fights complication of AIDS and cancer. By the way, the television is telling me that the Pope has arrived. We are finally in the presence of the head pedophile. By the way, that is just my opinion. Don't want to get sued for slander. Over to New World Order and Police State News. Virginia deputies tell woman we are your friends before killing her on video. This posted 1 week ago from PINACB, the media. I think that's an older story, but an updated article. Got another one here. California deputies shoot man, recording them with phone after fearing for their lives. Apparently they thought he had a gun. No, he had a phone. Boom, he's shot. Lawsuit says cops put black woman in mental hospital because they didn't believe she owned a BMW. I believe this happened out of New York. Bizarre story here, September 13, Yahoo News. We got, they fed me to the animal. Cops held 2 victims at gunpoint while forcing canine to eat them. September 17, I'll put a link to another bizarre story. Virginia high school students suspended for wearing Confederate flags. Now, how dare you think you're going to wear the Confederate? That's a no-no. Look at this. In God We Trust decals on police cars draw complaints. Your thoughts on this? I believe this happened down in Texas. Apparently, In God We Trust is not acceptable on the back of a police car. We got Facebook and German officials to target refugee-related hate posts. Be advised, watch what you say on Facebook. Might get you banned. Meanwhile, speaking of that, Trump and GOP panic as Obama launches plan to make 8 million immigrants eligible to vote. Think about that. That's September 19. We got German girls must cover arms and legs to appease Syrian refugees. I think my response would be kiss my ass. If you don't like my country, get out. I got one more. Ironically, refugees housed in ex-Nazi concentration camps. That's reported by InfoWars. Over to World War III news. It's heating up all over the place. We got Russia, Operation Salvation, Russia to destroy Obama's terrorist, Durka Durka and Durka Durka IL. Put a link to that. Meanwhile, we got RT says Greece confirms U.S. asked to close airspace to Syrian-bound Russian aid flights. That actually September 8th. Sorry, some of these are old. Last week I didn't do a report. 9/11 anniversary. I was all, emotional. I just didn't even feel like it. But we're catching up here. France considering airstrikes in Syria, sending recon jets. That out of local media out of Atlanta. We got from Zero Hedge. DOD admits U.S. Spec Ops boots on the ground in Syria. That 9/16/2015. Migrant crisis. Denmark and Germany rail links suspended. That's September 9 from BBC. Meanwhile, we got Hungary begins razor wire barrier along their border. That's September 18. Check that out. You wonder why we can't do that to our southern border. Or can we? That's not the agenda. A couple more here. Iran's supreme leader says Israel won't exist in 25 years. That's September 9. Now this comes as Iran finds unexpectedly high uranium reserve after Dems seal nuke deal for Obama. So now the nuke deal is done. Now we found all this high uranium. Wonder what that means. That from Fox News. Couple more here. We are change. Air Force Times runs ad urging drone pilots to disobey orders. September 19. What up with that? Might have something to do with this. The UN says U.S. drone strikes in Yemen have killed more civilians than Al-Qaeda. No way, I don't believe it. Over to Earth changes in 2012 news now. Looks like with that Chile earthquake, the USGS has repaired their website at least. 6.3 aftershock. This is all Chile in the significant earthquakes. 6.3, 6.2, 6.3, 6.7, 6.5, 6.4, 7.0, 16, 17, all just in the last few days. Major aftershocks in Chile. I'll put a link to USGS. Big quakes and all have small quakes on the right. A lot of small quakes as always. Latest one out of Oklahoma, 2.9. We got tsunami waves triggered by 8.3 quake strike Chile. RT has an article. They have some of the pictures of the damage. I don't think there was widespread damage that I've heard of. Just in Chile, they reported a 16-foot wave. That's where the majority of the damage was. I know Hawaii had a little bit of surge. There was tsunami advisories for California and all the way over to Japan. Well, as you can see behind me, that's what happened. That's just amazing in my opinion. Floods in Utah kill 16, leave 4 missing. This from CNN on September 16. We got, speaking of Japan, emergency typhoon in Japan. 100,000 displaced tons of radioactive water spilled into the sea. Well, that's just great. Put a link to that from asianews.it. Climate change could displace up to 250 million people. This is from a website I don't know about. Meanwhile, from the Daily Caller, look at this. Scientists ask Obama to prosecute global warming skeptics. How dare you think you're going to have an opinion? Mystery fireball lights up the sky over Bangkok. What's that? September doom? I don't know. That's September 7, by the way. Space.com puts this out. Soyuz rocket delivers 2 Galileo navigation satellites into orbit. Did they really? Or was it something else? The mainstream media likes to mess with us every once in a while. Here's one. When the lights go out, threatened by massive solar storms, terrorists, and climate change. How safe is the U.S. electrical grid? Are they preparing us for an EMP? I have no idea. Meanwhile, from the Washington Post, check this out. They love doing this to us every once in a while, too. Is there a Planet X, a massive perturber hidden beyond Pluto? That's a new article. September 3rd. Planet X back in the news. I love it. I'm a Planet X believer myself. Your thoughts? Everybody believes something different. I can't prove that it's not there. Missouri mom charged after, over to strange and bizarre news, by the way. Missouri mom charged after kids found living in a crate and in a cave. That's September 15. She has her kids housed in a cave. Blonde Danish teenager, 15, murdered her mother with a kitchen knife after watching Durka Durka videos of beheading British hostages online. Banned knives there, cutting off heads. My goodness. Man stabbed after finding wife naked in bed with her father. What? September 8, 2015, local news out of somewhere, I don't know, Virginia couple admits to getting drunk, having sex in the middle of shopping center parking lot. Woot. Whatever. Put a link to that. PC feed as this. Oh man, this is terrible. Be advised, adult content. Close your ears if you got little kids around. Poisonous snake bites farmer on the penis while urinating in a field. I am not making that up. That's September 10. I got another one here. This man says his 19-inch penis is too large for him to work. Women are afraid of it. Wow, that's a unique problem to have. A couple more here. We got Missouri transgender teen crowned homecoming queen. I've never heard of this happening before. That's September 15. What are your thoughts on that? Meanwhile, Starbucks issues ultimatum. People who believe in traditional marriage are not welcome as customers. Really? That from Natural News on September 17. Now look at this. Canadian rail company. We know sometimes planes go down in the ocean or sometimes they land at Diego Garcia and are never seen from again. But look, Canadian rail company has no explanation after 47-car train goes missing. How do you lose a train? I'll put a link to this. I did see some stuff around the internet that might be possibly a satire story. I certainly hope so. Daily Mail has this. Childish games, this from our president, have divided our country. Bristol Palin Vince fury at Obama for egging on racial divisions by inviting MaKaElectric, whatever his name is, 14 to the White House after... Oh, I'm so racist. This story with this bullcrap kid built this clock and got arrested. This is absolute nonsense. You know what this is? This is a psychological operation. They want us to feel all depressed and upset over this poor Muslim boy. And I know that makes me sound racist. I'm not racist. That's the way they want it to sound. This is absolute nonsense. You know why? I'll put a link to that. Put a link to this. Richard Dawson's questions Ahmed, whatever his name is, motives, and sparks backlash. If you speak out against this 14-year-old Muslim kid, oh, you're a racist and you need to be attacked. Look, scroll down and watch the video he has on his channel. In fact, I will put one more, a GLP thread. They have a video over there, and in 20 seconds, a man takes apart a commercial alarm clock, puts it in a pencil case, and it looks exactly like 14-year-old Ahmed's clock. This kid did not build this clock. He took apart, you got an old alarm clock in your house, take it apart and look what's inside. Check that video out in 20 seconds. There you go. He didn't build anything. This entire story is bullcrap nonsense. And Obama's sitting out. Oh, yeah, that's a pretty cool clock you got there. Invite you to the White House. Here, have a tour of the NASA Space Museum and all this. All to get the American public to feel sorry that some 14-year-old Muslim boy was picked on. It's complete bullcrap. He didn't build anything. It's nonsense. I realize that makes me sound racist, but I'm not. That's the way they want it to sound. It is a tool for racial division. That's all that story's about. Anyway, for all of the news, please check my favorite videos. Definitely pull it up, check over the title, see if there's anything over you don't know about. I've been favoriting videos left and right since I haven't been making a lot. I have been favoriting a lot. Thank you to everybody making videos, keeping everybody informed. I got some shout-outs this week. Shout out to JSnip4. He did a great video. Important alarm clock kid. It was a setup, 923. Check out JSnip4's videos, 23 minutes long, but he makes just some outstanding points. Shout out to Bubba 08009, did a great video. Bunker Report 9615, Virginia shooting fabrication evidence. 20-minute video, but very informative, and I agree, a lot of anomalies. Shout out to Montagraph, and shout out to everybody who made the story go viral about the shooting being bullcrap. Calling out the Daily Beast. Montagraph has a video in which he has a link under the video where the Daily Beast just had to write an article attacking the people who were calling BS on the shooting. Do you realize what happened? We, the alternative media, whatever you want to call us, conspiracy theorists, truthers, whatever name you want to give it, we forced the mainstream media once again to cover us. Shout out to everybody. I'll put a link to that. We got shout out to everybody waking up because of people calling bullcrap. Look at this. I'm going to put a link. TV shooting survivor Vicky Gardner speaks out on today. This is today's YouTube channel. Okay, their video, 16,000 views, 20 thumbs ups, 3,319 thumbs downs. This is the supposedly the survivor of the shooting. I want you to pull it up and don't so much watch the interview, but just scroll down and read the comments. These are comments from people all over the place, not so much like conspiracy theorists or truthers or whatever. These are comments from everyday people. Read the comments. People are calling BS. Mainstream media, your bullcrap facade is falling apart at every turn, and I'm loving it. Shout out to everybody waking up. Shout out to Syrian Girl. She did a great video, Refugee Crisis, What the Media is Hiding. Help Syrian refugees go home. She's got an interesting take. I'll put a link to her video. And shout out, one at the bottom, Donald Trump. Donald Trump, listen, you MFers, we're going to tax you 25%. I got to throw a shout out to Donald Trump, even though I think it's all just fake entertainment anyway. But what he says about China, Trump gets gangsta on China, and you got to pull it up. If you don't like bad language, don't pull it up. It's back from 2011, but shout out to Trump. You got to pull it up to see what I'm talking about. Anyway, guys, that's all I got. If you like the report, please give me a thumbs up, a thumbs down. You can suck this the worst of YouTube you never want to see. And please rate, though. It does help it move around. You can also follow me on Facebook, Google, Plus, and Twitter for live show alerts, breaking news alerts, new upload alerts, always posted there when they're up. Those links are always at the bottom. That's all I got. Madness. What do you think's coming in the next week? 2 weeks? Is it going to be the apocalypse? Is it going to be doom? Is it going to be nothing? Probably going to be nothing. You know, I'm certainly not predicting anything, although a lot of people are talking about a lot of different stuff. Asteroids and CERNs, and check out Morning Mind's video, that second video down. She talks about what CERN's going to be doing towards the end of the month. And there's other videos about how they're going to be trying to open up a vortex or some crap. Should they be allowed to do that in the name of all life on planet Earth? I don't think they should. Tell me your thoughts, though. You guys take care, stay safe, remain vigilant these last couple weeks. Anything could go down, or maybe nothing happens. That would be great, because then we can still make videos. I will see you on the next one.